what it was like first day of camp with the Bryce Young era. It seems that the teammates are already in love with this dude. You've been around. We've been unable not to be there. So, like, what is it about Bryce that so far is kind of catching the attention of this team's?
I think everybody appreciates work ethic, especially when you're in the NFL and you know it, as vets, you know what it takes to be successful. And sometimes as rookies, I mean, he's 21, 22.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at 22, I didn't have the focus that he has, nothing even close to it. So for him to have the level of focus and hard work and work ethic that he has at that age, that is just the recurring theme from guys about, how hard of a worker he is and how smart he is.
Yeah.
What do you think is a realistic expectation in his first year? I mean, you are talking about a young guy. You are talking about a guy trying to figure something out. Has some physical limitations, but I think those are offset by how smart he is.
Yeah. It's tough because I think the NFC South is wide open, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have Ritter, who really hasn't proven himself in Atlanta. Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay, we already know what that is. And when Derek Carr is the best quarterback in your division, I think it's pretty much up for grabs, right? So I think competitive in the division is realistic.
Yes, agreed.
For the Panthers, it really just depends on how fast Bryce picks up on the offense and how they tailor it to him as a rookie. Do they put a lot on him? I don't think so. I think I've been telling people Miles Sanders is going to be a big pickup for fantasy because he's going.
Chilios here, like nodding, like yes.
He's going
Totally
to
agree.
get a lot of touches this year.
Okay, all right. So I wanted to go back to just the demeanor of Bryce, and Cam Newton still has a particular presence around the organization because we understood what he was in that room and how players gravitated towards him. We saw when he came back how the room picked up. You know this. You witnessed this. So is it similar? Is it different? Are they even comparable with the way that Bryce seems to have the room already behind him?
I think that it's taking Bryce less time than it took Cam Newton. Cam came in, and although they had the probably equal accolades as far as Heisman Trophy and national championship, I just think that, Cam got a lot of criticism his first year for being a quote-unquote sore loser.
Right.
Even though...
The towel.
I know,
all that
right?
stuff, right?
Even though he was putting up numbers on the field,
Yeah.
I don't think that Bryce is meeting that same type of criticism, but I think he's also a different person. He's very, and I was telling you this off mic, like he came to the press conference and he stopped everyone and he was like, I just want to thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate that. And I'm like,
He didn't learn that from Nick Saban.
I'm like, wow, that's so sweet of you, But it's just a different demeanor. But I think that they both have leadership qualities. I just think that Bryce's are more focused than Cam's were rookie season, and that's why that's why the vets have been speaking so highly of them.
It's so unusual, and I just mentioned Nick Saban. Like, you follow enough of college sports to know, like, if Nick Saban doesn't like somebody, he's going to tell you.
Yeah.
Like, he benched Jalen Hurts in the national championship game. Like, that spoke volumes, right?
Yeah.
Can you even think of, like, a single incident where someone, whether it's Nick Saban or anyone else at Alabama, who had a cross word to say about Bryce Young? I think that's the most amazing thing, because I think you're right. Even when Cam came in the league, even after leading an Auburn team that had no other pros on it to a championship and winning the Heisman and all the things that he did, there were still all these questions about Cam.
Yep.
With Bryce Young, it just feels like universally the response seems to be what yours is in your impression. Like, look how nice he is. And everyone's, the cockamamie test that he took that everyone was so excited about. Like, we all seem to be just blown away with his intelligence and his demeanor. Like, can you even think of anyone who has even, like, other than the stature thing?
No.
Maybe not being the biggest, who has anything negative to say
No,
about this
I
guy?
haven't seen anything negative.
That's the only knock.
Yeah.
And some people think that that's a pretty big knock.
Right.
But he's been playing football in that body his whole life.
Yes.
Right.
So it's like
He knows how to.
He knows
Yes.
how to. He knows what to do. And it's crazy. Like you mentioned, I haven't heard anybody, and I can read people pretty well, and I can tell when people are fronting or it's cap and they're just putting on for us.
Sure.
No, it's genuine.
Yeah.
That's him.
The respect and the love that people have for him is genuine. Now he just has to back it up on the field because that will quickly turn
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you can't.
Well, I don't think anybody's calling for Andy Dalton at this point, but I know what you're saying. Although I'm curious, and we'll let you go on this because I know it's been a wild day for you. You talked about what kind of offense are they going to run, how are they going to ramp that up? What do you expect to see out of the preseason? I mean, how much do you expect to? Because
Actual reps, right?
because that was our
no more
Giglio-
fooling around.
Giglio and I screamed last season, like, you bring Baker Mayfield in for a reason. Why are we acting as though he wasn't going to start week one? And it actually, in my opinion, held him back.
Yeah.
So if we know that Bryce is going to be the guy, how do you see them with adults in the room?
I was gonna say.
handling him moving up to the actual starter for week one.
It's just to me, it's a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
Bryce will take first team reps. I think they will officially name him the starter before the first preseason game.
Yeah.
There's no playing around. Oh, we're competing. No, this is a new era. We have
Adults
people with
in the room.
experience, right? People with experience, and you know. When they did that during OTAs and had him working out exclusively with the first team, that the writing was on the wall, and I think that's what it is. I think that will be what they do in camp, and by that first preseason game, if not before then, they'll finally say for sure that Bryce is QB1. I'm interested in the reps that Matt Corral gets because Andy Dalton has the experience, but you still have a young guy in Matt Corral who's hungry as well. And I think he'll play a lot in the preseason.
Vashti Hurt, Carolina Blitz. If you want Panthers coverage, she is one of the best sources on the net. So go check her out. Vashti, I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.